Hello, my name is Trey Taylor. For my project, I decided to discuss African American men and the mental health issues in the Midwest. While I was looking up information about mental health and how it affects African American men, I found that in this area, they have it worse off than many other races, that in other places around the nation, such as places on the East and West Coast, they were not affected as much, but when looking closer at areas, cities, and states that are more inward, the worse it seemed to get for African American males. I believe that with the world the way it is and always demanding equality for all, that we will need to reach that in all areas and not just certain states. We need to demand equal pay, opportunities, and then many other categories, which in this area, African American men are not treated equally because of the lack of chances to provide and get the help they needed to succeed, but also the help for mental health. In the Midwest, the struggles they face affect themselves but also their families as well. These problems are physical, mental, social, emotional, and economical, and also cause many concerns for the health situation for that African American men face on a daily basis. In this project, I will be mostly referring to Illinois, Kansas, Ohio, and Missouri for specific examples. However, this does not mean that every city, town, or citizen in this area is this way toward African American men. In the US, we overall as a country are ranked in the upper percentile of almost any category. However, we still have yet so many internal problems within our country between certain races that have not yet been addressed. I believe that the problems that the African Americans have in this area of the Midwest has a lot to do with the overall health, or more specifically, the mental health. In the Midwest or in general, the men are the providers of the family. However, in this area of the Midwest, the employment rate is so much higher than usual. Illinois actually has the highest unemployment rate for African American males, and since a huge part of mental health is caused by depression and other symptoms, this is actually one of the worst places for them to live because of this. Mental health is described as a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. Mental health consists of symptoms of disorders like depression, suicide, ADHD, and PTSD. Due to some of these conditions, African Americans are 20% more likely to experience serious mental health problems according to the Health and Human Services Office of Minority Health. Many people consider mental health day today problems, but fail to realize that this is truly a serious medical issue, which can lead to many other health disorders. Having a mental health issue can lead to social anxiety, which can make it hard to relate and be seen as a normal person. Emotionally, there can be issues because not everyone understands what these problems are, and most of the time treat them unequally. While in reality, they just need someone to explain it and give them steps to help complete the task. For the Midwest, I consider that the African Americans who live in this area are automatically put into a lower class than what they should be because of mental health issues. In most scenarios, black men are given a path which is much more difficult than what other races must fight through in order to succeed in the first place because of other stereotypes. For those that live in Illinois or Kansas or Ohio, for example, both face both the stereotypes, but if they are diagnosed with a mental health issue, it will cause problems because they will not get the same equal treatment that they would normally be given to a healthy African American. Some facts I found about this are adult African American men are 20% more likely to report serious psychological distress rather than adult whites. African Americans living below the poverty line are 3 times more likely to report serious psychological distress than those living above it. These men, African Americans, are more likely to have feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness than white adults will. This top picture showcases some of the numbers of exactly how many people have a problem controlling their mental health. 13.2% of the United States identifies as Black or African American. Of those 13.2%, 16% has been diagnosed with a mental illness in the past year. That is over 6.8 million people. Yes, that is not the entire Midwest, but if looking at these numbers, you can understand exactly how many people have a mental disorder or mental health issue that needs to be addressed. This lower chart is just a small description of a mental health status for those with a psychological distress among adults who are 18 years of age and older in 2013 to 2014. With all the problems that African American males face with everyday problems in the Midwest, especially in the places that I've said, cause many more problems on them than what they deserve. All these men want to do is support their families, but since the unemployment rate is much lower for Africans, it becomes much harder for them to find jobs. If we want to help them, ways we can start are by giving them support when needed, because when we do not, it results in homelessness or worse, suicide. We need to have specialized doctors in order to help treat and work with them to find jobs and programs to help deal with these mental issues that they have. Some listed below are just a few ways we can help. We can help them seek out resources. We can work closely with our loved one's treatment team. We can educate ourselves about the mental health issue. And we can also establish equality. If we follow these steps, helping those that have a mental health issue can be easily done. Now, mental health isn't something that can be fixed like addictions. Mental health affects people in many ways. It causes symptoms that may not be recognizable by friends and family, but only by professional doctors or specialists. I believe that the first thing that must be done is guarantee equal treatment to all citizens, no matter their race. This will allow all citizens the best opportunity to provide for themselves and their family. Something I found that they are trying to implement to help those with mental health is the 5-point plan. The 5 points are: increase prevention, treatment, and recovery services, expand the mental health workforce, widen the use of health information technology, educate the public, and reinvest in research. If these steps are followed, the mental health community and those that need help can easily seek it. This concludes my project on mental health and how it affects African American men in the Midwest. These are my references. Thank you